to, we're back with the jobless nigga Omeezy. Okay, working for content creators is basically a scam. I agree. I got 2 mods. They don't get paid. They know they're not getting paid. We didn't sign no deal. But let's see what let's see what happens in this one. Let's watch.
I started working for Nina last year, and since
Nina
then,
Lynch. Damn, that's about Nina.
She's gone from one of the fastest growing streamers on the platform to one of the most hated. If you
What happened with Nina? I've heard like people hate Nina, but I never cared enough to look into it.
For any reason, she might be playing a character or is faking any dramatic acts for clicks on stream,
I
I'm
only
here
really
to tell
see
you
her on
that
the
it's so
Druzy
much
shit.
worse than you can imagine behind the scenes.
What the f are you doing? Hold the stream like this. No, walk. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Walk. Oh, sorry.
A lot of these creators, they're not good people. They're not people who want to help you. I don't care how willy-nilly or how nice they come across the camera. A lot of these people, it's a business at the end of the day, and they're only out for themselves and their brands and their image.
I think in like 2018, the term creator economy was coined, meaning that there was now enough money into the space that people were having to hire editors and thumbnail makers and all these other things as a support system in order to make the content go. But I'm gonna keep it 100% with you. Behind the scenes, content creator economy, the employees, the staff, is mostly a Wild West situation. Most of these people are young people employing their friends, family members, or some Discord mod to do some sort of big project with them. And then one day they blow up and the stakes raise, but that doesn't mean anybody knows a lick about any sort of professionalism. There's been this pattern that I'm seeing recently of streamers, content creators, TikTokers, or whoever getting ousted and doing insane things behind closed doors to the people that help support them in their journeys and endeavors. And though it is not always the case, content creators can be some of the worst people to work with. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. My editor is begging for at least one day off. The only way that can happen is if we get more subscriptions, more views, more eyeballs on the platform, so that, you know, maybe one day we can have just a day away from these daily uploads. Trust me, ankle. I'm drowning too, buddy. Now, back into the video. This video isn't necessarily about one creator. It's about this pattern that I'm seeing. But I think we have to understand the foundation of what's going on and how we even got here to really understand the madness that we see today. Most content creators didn't start off as business owners. They were people who most likely consumed social media and wanted to attempt it. Maybe not even in the hopes that they would become some sort of big or famous person, but truly, this is just what everybody's doing. There's no team, there's no responsibility, there's no structure, but now there's editors, there's thumbnail makers, there's people who write scripts, there's cameramen, there's agents. People are starting to rely on this income that is built off the back of one person, maybe 2 people if there's like a group channel type situation. And this is where things fall apart. The content, the views, the audience, the eyes grow, but the professionalism never really does. Recently, content creator OneCloud9 got called out by his ex-editor Alex. Now, because I do have / had a relationship with both parties involved, this is a very, very interesting topic. With that being said, I feel like I can really be unbiased in this situation as Alex drops a video, OneCloud's ex-editor, detailing about how he initially started working with this content creator who was his friend IRL under this handshake agreement.
Here's where like I first should have realized that, like, you know, I should have had a contract, because mind you, know, we did all of this work despite making so much money and gaining so much views off of it and all of these videos doing so well. I was doing all this under the table, you know. He didn't give me a contract to sign or nothing like that. So to be paid, there wasn't a system for me to be paid. Like, you'll ask him to be paid and then he'll just ignore you for like 12 hours or like a day. Mind you, people that work for Cloud, since he's a business, people like have to pay their bills and like rent and all these other things because this is their job. And Cloud will purposely like drag his feet to not pay people because it's like an ego thing. Like, just because he knows he can and he feels good knowing that people asking him for money, you know what I mean? And he'll either ignore you or be like, I got you, or he'll be like, I gotta get the money situated. But you'll see him like go live on Twitch and just start like laughing, frolicking, or you'll see him like on Instagram just chilling or playing the game. But he won't pay you until he feels he's ready to pay you.
He goes in depth.
I just want to say real quick, if you are working under somebody or even for yourself, you're conducting yourself as a business, okay? And I get that most of these people are young. I don't know how young these people are specifically, but I think you have to know that there needs to be some type of a formal agreement. It doesn't have to be the most serious agreement, but a formal written legal agreement about you know, important things like pay and benefits and, you know what I'm saying, just the all business. But I guess, like, that's what Omar's saying. Like, a lot of people don't know about the business world. And the business world is a lot more tricky than people understand and what they really think it is. Y'all, I think some young people just think like, oh, you pay me, but it gets messy. Niggas get killed for business shit. Don't kill nobody. I'm just saying, like, it can get messy.
In detail about how he had to chase payments, and after falling out with OneCloud over some trips to Miami and stuff like that, he decided that once it was time to work back with him after OneCloud reached out.
$200 per video, up to 40 minutes raw footage. $50 per hour if editing exceeds over 4 hours of footage exceeds 40 minutes. Weekly, Sundays, $11.59. Late fee, $25 a day. Performance bonus, 500,000 views within 7 days, $100. Plus $100 for additional $100,000 views within the same days. Revisions 1 to 2 days. First of all, you sent this. What's good, Dustin? You sent this nigga a text September 25th, 12:36 in the morning. Nigga didn't respond to September 28th.
It was time to get on contract. He couldn't agree on the terms of the contract with the manager, and then ultimately the relationship ends pretty messy, if I do say so myself. Now, the reason why this matters is because you'll notice throughout the video that content creators aren't structured people. For the most part, these are kids, like young adults who have just started into this lane. Some of them don't have jobs, have never had jobs. If they do have some sort of job, it's something in fast food or retail on a small scale, and then they jump into the content creation lane. They don't know anything about business. They don't know anything about taxes, lawyers, contracts, direct deposits. They don't know how to do these things or how to set up these things. And for the most part, a lot of these things are expensive and an afterthought when you're running your own one-man show. So a lot of these situations that I'm going to talk about down in the comment section, I know people are going to say, well, if they just did this from a structure perspective, put this system in place, that system in place, the third and the fourth, it's not that simple. And ultimately, the reason why OneCloud's situation with his editor failed is because it was a no structure environment that ended with a failed structure. How many times do I say structure? Somebody put a structure counter down.
I'm not taking a shot.
OneCloud9 responds to all of these allegations, giving heavy pushback. I do want to cover both videos in length, so I'll probably do that tonight on stream on YouTube. Please, if you're watching this video, tap the button, click into the stream. Only after you finish watching the video, though. Watch the video first. He pushes back on the payment conversation, saying that, you know, it's not about not paying him, but more so timing and communication. Maybe you got paid a day late, maybe a couple hours late. But especially in these types of environments, not a direct deposit situation where the check hits your account at exactly 2:30 a.m. You're still waiting for a content creator who is probably taking hours to record a video, make a thumbnail, do a bunch of other stuff to then pay you, which would also make it make sense as to why there was communication issues. Busy guy, lack of communication. I'm gonna be honest with you. If he was communicating fast, he probably is somebody who needs to, you know, ramp up his work life. And maybe that's just a negative way of thinking, but hey, the communication issues were ultimately there, but they were justified, at least by OneCloud's tale of him being busy. But they were still happening nonetheless. As far as the pushback on the contractual obligations and things go, OneCloud9 claims that there was a bunch of back and forth and, you know, different things being said, a he said, she said game about the details of said contract. But what's mostly important here is that there was a verbal agreement, never anything that was concrete. And as we know, verbal agreements are,
they don't hold
she
up.
said best. You
Yeah.
said one thing, I said another thing. It goes into this back and forth that ultimately ends up in them both not agreeing to any sort of contract, paying the amount of money owed, and then just ending ties with each other, ultimately ending a friendship as well. But this is probably the importance of putting something down on paper, making sure that everybody is aware of what's going on at all times. Now, the reason why this situation matters is because even though both sides explained the situation as best as possible, there's some core issues that are still there, which we'll see are continuous themes across content creators. There's no contract from the start. There's slow communication. There's verbal agreements that are unclear. There's this muddying of the waters in the relationship dynamic, friends turning into business associates, which we know doesn't always work out the best. And there's just a lack of professionalism from the top to bottom. Hell, even in their attempts of being more professional, I do feel as though it was hard to start the professional arc if the structure wasn't there from the beginning. So it's not just about who's right and who's wrong. I'll get into that on the stream, but it's more so about how fragile these working relationships relationships are. That's why your parents put you in sports or in clubs. When you
Why are
have
you
teenagers
concerned?
with no real professional background or no real structure, things are bound to fall apart. Now, for what it's worth, I feel like this was probably the most tame instance of videos that I've seen about content creators having issues with their employees. The Nina Lynn situation is one that took the cake for me, and it really exposed how nasty the content creator economy can really be.
Nina would appear on Juicy's could
Wait,
have
before
been.
we move on from this one, I could just see how it happens though, because it's like, well, I don't know when they started working together or whatever. He said they were IRL friends, so I'm assuming he's been there since the beginning when it's built up. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's really, when you making pennies off the internet shit, like who's really making like a deep, like, oh yeah, I want this amount, this amount. But you know, when that income started rolling in, niggas gonna be like, hello, where's my cut? I need this and I need it on time. I got bills to pay. Legal shit.
Love shortly after this era. And her first couple streams would consist of her and the Could Have Been Love cast reacting to the episodes.
Dustin, call the cops. Don't even tell nothing else to me. Just call the cops. I don't know you. I don't know where you're at, and I don't know your friend. Just call the cops. There's no more conversation. No need to be concerned, and don't get me in your shit. Call the police. That's the only thing I got to say. Name, address, police, concern. That's it. That's it. We don't play with the children around here. Call the cops. That's it.
I would end up posting the first reaction, and it would immediately start taking off. At this time, I was running live channels for Jimmy, Arky, and Nina all at the same time. But the fact that these videos are blowing up so soon showed that the potential was unreal. But yeah, I would keep posting from here on out, and eventually, from these first few videos, the channel was already eligible for monetization. This was the first red flag, and as you'll see along this story, I ignored so many red flags. The red flag in this case was the fact that I think it literally took over a month for her to even get around to monetizing the channel. I would make group chats with her and Jimmy for her to go completely ghost in them, and she couldn't respond because she has ADHD or something. I don't know. But Jimmy would try his best to help me along this journey to get it monetized, and would ask Nina a few times for her to
No justifying, no explanation. I don't need it. Call the cops. That's all I have to say. That's it.
put in her details. Which is so crazy because she's literally the one missing out on a ton of money. Like, it's not just me. But anyways, the channel got monetized. And for some reason, I trusted that the payment would just work out at the time, since I didn't really know any past controversies from her. And because I knew some of the people around her at the time who I trusted. And obviously they didn't know either.
Nina Lynn would be exposed by her channel manager / editor for lack of payment and lack of professionalism and lack of communication from Nina Lynn's end. What she did to him to really hammer home the point that she doesn't give a fuck about him will really put the icing on the cake in this whole situation. But ultimately, just like in the OneCloud situation, from the beginning of this, it was a red flag recipe of disaster when there wasn't much structure at the top of the situation, which led to the bottoming out. Nina Lynn's channel manager would get this job based off of recommendation. It used to not be a LinkedIn / Indeed for content creators out in the space. You usually got this through word of mouth, some sort of random DM, friend of the family, or one of your Discord people that you're in community with steps up and says, hey, I want to help you out. They came to a verbal agreement, about how things should go. Hey, you're gonna help Nina Lynn monetize this channel, and then from there we'll worry about payments. That's not how things work. When you sign on to a job, there's not a section in the payment column that goes, we'll work things out. These are things that you usually get on paper explicitly so that you're not chasing the paper later down the line. I was trying to make a
Those
paper,
are things that you argue before you even accept the job. Not even like, oh, you get the job and then we'll write it. No, before you even accept it, this is what you need to argue. You need to look thoroughly through your contract. What are you signing? What are you getting? What are your benefits? What can you gain something? Do you want this? What you need to put in here? You probably don't do that for your, like, obviously you're not doing that at, well, maybe. Depends on what position. If you cashier 16 at the McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? Obviously you just want your minimum wage, and because you in high school still, you just want your, your little things. But in a real job, those things are argued beforehand.
Tracting paper, money, getting kind of bad at this. But so the
McDonald's
work gets done, the channel
saying.
gets monetized, and the communication, if there was any at the beginning, goes ghost, radio silent. And how Nina Lynn is responding to all this makes her look even worse than anybody imaginable.
I would also talk to Nina at TwitchCon and ask her to check her phone and respond to her texts about me asking her to pay me. And I would show the clip, but low-key it's too cringe to watch back. I think someone got like a 20-30K like banger tweet on my head head about the confrontation, but thankfully it got taken down, and I would actually go up to her again a few days later at Silky's party because she was still airing my texts. She ended up telling me some bullshit excuse about like she was talking with an agency or something and would sort it out within a few days, but since then I've never gotten a text. I just get like a thumbs up on my message, which I don't understand why you wouldn't just respond at that point. But yeah, it was pretty much safe to say that I was done working for her after this.
Damn, at least one cloud was responding to the text, Nina. It might have been late, but you just dubbing the man. Oh, I'm kidding. Worse than the one cloud 9 situation, Nina Lynn ghosts this man IRL. Even when he pushes up on her and asks her about, you know, any sorts of payments or anything like that, she invalidates him by basically ignoring him, not saying anything, giving him the who are you treatment. Like that's even beyond disrespectful from like a lack of communication, I'm late with communication type situation. At this point, you're playing with me, like playing with me to a whole different extreme. I'm not here to victim blame, but these things definitely could have been avoided if we just looked at the patterns of, you know, past situations when it comes to content creators. Work tied to future revenue? No.
Not even just specifically content creators. Never assume that somebody just got you. Okay? I think that's like life rule number 1, but especially adult rule number 1. Don't ever assume anybody just has your best interest in mind, or they got me, or yeah, they gonna get me with that money. Yeah, they gonna pay me eventually. Like, look at, like, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter how good the person is. You can't assume anything. Always cover yourself first and then work the relationship from there, okay? Okay.
Doesn't make any sense. If I do work for you today, I look to be paid today. I'm not cutting your grass on Monday for the hopes that grass trees grow on Thursday so I can come and collect on Friday. That just doesn't make any sense. No contract involved, only verbal agreements. We know that that's bad. And then once money is involved, communication just goes out the window. It starts off as an opportunity and it ends up with no accountability based on that same pattern. No structure, no protection. But at the end of the day, the one that keeps losing is the worker in all this. One of the main problems is that content creators feel as though, hey, once I do pay this person or once this person is working for me, I am entitled to do whatever I want to this person. I can talk to them however I want. I can pay them however I want. I can do all these different things to this person however I want. And when I mean anything I want, they'll do anything, even if it means disrespecting them.
And you set the fucking camera up on some lazy shit and sat on your phone for 10 fucking minutes. I let it slide. I ain't say shit until you got on your phone and I said something. Right? You can't do that at no job. No call center, no Verizon, no nothing, nigga.
You want to get me tight? You want to start talking this shit? Then we're going to do it on camera. I'll do it. How many times you fucking hold me, not pay me, do any of that shit?
Man, stop playing. Get the fuck out of here, my nigga.
Hello.
Get the fuck out of here.
Send me $20 for 3 days of shoots.
Bro, I'll knock you the fuck out, my nigga. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me, bro.
Kamara, what the fuck are you doing? Hold the stream like this. No, walk. I'm gonna show you how to do it. Walk, nigga. Walk. Oh, sorry. I'm paying this nigga damn near $200. You better get right. He held the stream for 30 minutes. What the fuck is we doing?
I get the idea of not being satisfied with your work that you're getting from an employee. Trust me, I've been there, done that, and bought the t-shirt. Ankle, this it's not about you. It's not about you right now. I'm satisfied with your work. You do a great job. I would never do this to you.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
But the idea of trying to publicly embarrass the employee that you have hired just doesn't sit right with me. This right here is the ego problem. This right here is a situation in which content creators should be held fully accountable for their egotistical and narcissistic manner. Just because you pay somebody doesn't mean you have the right to do whatever, whenever you want to. In David Great's case, he's probably not even factoring in that, you know, I'm on stream for 6 straight hours. I should probably give my camera person a break to, I don't know, check their phone every once in a while, go to the bathroom, eat some food, etc., etc. And then has the nerve to even go about saying those things when you've only paid this man $20. You haven't been paying this person. Get the fuck out of here. In the situation with Samia, I mean, just train him. I don't even understand how this is such an issue. Later on, I find out that it is her brother in question and she just grabbed him up to be a camera person. He'd only been doing the job for a little while, but I don't understand why you expect him to know everything to be a master level camera person. And even more so, cool, he's messing up. But that doesn't mean that you publicly embarrass him like this in the mall. Now I get it, content creators have a lot of pressure on them. Ultimately, something that was supposed to be fun in games has been built into something that is serious and almost like an empire. People are relying on you and depending on you to, you know, pay them and support their lifestyle via the work that they're doing for you. And that can be tough. Granted, you do get to experience the high highs and the good months. You know, you get to roll around in that good euphoric experience. But when there's low months, when there's slow months, and even when there's months where you're not making any money, you still have to support the people who are there helping you on a day-to-day basis. So I get it. You can be testy. You can give some demands that may be a little bit too much to the average person. But that does not mean that you get to disrespect somebody who is doing a job for you.
He doesn't have to say it, but he's testing me. Say it. He doesn't have to say it. Like, it could be just bygones. It's like, I'm a bitch.
That's crazy.
They didn't think I was gonna do it.
So how do you feel now?
I feel good. They were even.
So you're gonna buy me a new computer. That's 4K.
He's gonna break it on purpose.
I'm not gonna break it. It's there. How did this even start? Because I know I didn't call you a bitch.
Yeah, gang, I don't know how to justify
That's
that.
crazy.
In no way, shape, form, or fashion is it reasonable to throw a milkshake or some sort of
At
drink
anybody.
at somebody, let alone somebody who is doing a job for you. Now, maybe their dynamic calls for it. I can't imagine one that really does. Editor man,
I ain't cool with
come on
nobody
now.
like
If
that.
this is the relationship dynamic, let's change that. But Keneal Joseph totally steps out of bounds here, and it's all because this editor was taking too long on uploading a video. What happens is that these people leverage these relationships that they have. They say that they're friends, they're family, they're fans of said creator, and this is the way that they get treated. They get treated as disposable and replaceable, ultimately because there's a power dynamic and imbalance that is involved. The reality is that there's no accountability, no boundaries, no professionalism in the space. As creators get bigger and bigger and teams build out more and more, from the beginning, there needs to be some sort of standard set, contracts, payment systems, you know, something bigger
Somebody
than
with
just
a
a
business
handshake
mind.
agreement. They are scaling on the side of the back end as far as, you know, people on their team, but they're not scaling with structure. So ultimately it will topple. But what often happens at times is that these kids are running themselves ragged with no sorts of structure, no systems in place. Hell, I'm gonna put you guys on some game here. Sometimes these creators don't even have bank accounts. They're just running around, putting money in this person's account, that person's account, still using Cash App, still using Chime, respectfully to those that use Chime. Maybe they started an LLC, but they aren't separating their business finances from their personal finances. And now you run into a situation where the delayed payments, poor organization, and worst of it all, streamers and content creators not paying for people who do work for events for them.
I know some of y'all remember me being on Rakai's stream when he had the boxing match and me and Lori had fought and then Magic had fought as well. Well, guess what? We didn't get our motherfucking money. I didn't get paid for winning, and I feel some type of way about that. It is 11/31, December 31st, 2025. And going into the new year, Rakai, I want y'all to send me my money. That's all I want. Whoever is on Rakai's team, y'all need to send us our money.
I could take the cam off so niggas don't.
I was about to say, I hope you didn't take the word of a 13-year-old, no shade, Rakai, a 13-year-old that he was going to pay you, and now you're surprised that you're not paid. I hope that you were booked and hired by somebody, an adult, somebody on his team, and I hope that's who you're addressing.
I see you rapping and shit.
No, you understand it. You
Okay, I'm listening.
Money down.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how that old is.
Okay.
Crazy, man.
So you gotta put money down. Wait, explain to me. I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
You understand everything else I've been talking about the whole day.
Okay, so you saying niggas gotta break bread with the stream for you to rap?
Every time I see little baby, bro.
Wait,
today we splitting.
Okay, so
I
we
never
split
see
the
him, like,
stream
revenue.
Revenue
For the day. That's
for you to rap.
Yeah.
The core problem is that content creators are scaling faster than the systems that are being put into place. And part of me says that I don't blame them, because one day you might be making silly little internet videos, silly little commentary videos, silly little 2K videos or whatever to an audience of maybe 30 people, to overnight or over the course of weeks, maybe a few months, hundreds of thousands of people, let alone millions of people for some of these content creators watching your stuff. You're getting flooded with money, you're getting flooded with opportunity, and there's no real time or structure in place to school you on what to do. Hell, even somebody like me who knows better, I still haven't done my taxes for this year. I'm gonna get it done. But because there's so much just going on that I need to keep my hands on, and because there's not too many people out there to help me get this done, you know, I'm just going with the wind. And so while I do see that it's easy to ignore all these different things, contracts, clear agreements, and just overall responsibility, that doesn't mean that people aren't losing in this situation. Editors, freelancers, collaborators, camera people, all these people that help make the show go on, you're hurting in the long run. But I do want to take the time at the end to give like some sort of PSA. Look, the reality of content creation and working in this industry is that it is wild, wild west like. There's a lot of handshake agreements and a bunch of promises. Promises that videos will be delivered on time, promises that payments will come through, promises that there will be money in the account, that we won't get demonetized. You know, basically the world will continue to go around. There's unstable income. There's no guarantees. I could literally stop uploading videos tomorrow and every member of my team would have to find some sort of job, and vice versa. The people that are on my team could just quit tomorrow, but I still need to put out a video because we're still unemployed. And there's really no protection outside of a he say, she say hit piece video, which ultimately people will move on from. There's no guarantees that you'll be protected in court or anything like that. That's just not how this works. And for the most part, everybody in this situation is young and inexperienced. Most people have no clue about starting up a business or managing any sort of business. This is probably why I preach college and working in the workforce and living real life before stepping into the lane of content creation. It'll make you a more well-rounded person holistically, and maybe you can avoid at least some of these downfalls. Content creation is no longer small. It involves real people and real work. Now, with that being said, before anybody gets into any sort of work type of relationship with any content creator, I actually don't mind a verbal agreement, especially if you know this person and have built some sort of relationship. But ultimately, do everything in your power to protect yourself. And that can include some sort of contract. Remember that at the end of the day, this is business. It's freelance business at that. The ties of friendships and these types of emotions kind of fall on deaf ears to me, because at the end of the day, money is on the line. And sure, I have work friends when I was at a job, but at the end of the day, work had to be done. If my friend was keeping me from getting my work done, then I had to do something about the friendship piece to make sure that the work got done. And the last bit, please have patience on both sides. Have patience with the creator, have patience with the freelancer. The systems aren't set up. And that can be a bigger conversation as to why this keeps happening. The structure just isn't there. And if it doesn't catch up, then, you know, people behind the scenes will keep paying the price. But you went into the situation knowing that there wasn't structure involved. So not victim blaming, but yeah. For any creators out there listening, please do right by people behind the scenes. As somebody who started off in this game behind the scenes, I know how it can be to be, you know, disappointed by people that, you know, you are employed by. I'm not saying that most of the people that I worked for disappointed me. There are a couple people, but hey, I was already well versed in the game at that point, so I kind of knew what to expect. But please, creators, do right by the people that, you know, keep the lights on, because without them, you honestly wouldn't be nowhere. And by any means, no matter what goes on, that does not justify a milkshake being thrown or you dubbing them in public.
No, that's actually assault. That's actually
Nina Lynn. You, Nina. I'm talking about you, Nina Lynn. You're a dickhead.
Oh shit. No, that's actually just assault. Bro, yeah, good point. Basically what I was saying, protect yourself. Don't assume that anybody is just outside, even outside this content creator shit. If you do anything, any type of work, any, you know, or if you do an unconventional type of work, I guess we'll say it on a traditional path, and, you know, you kind of defend it for yourself out in there, make sure you're always cover yourself. And if somebody's mad that you're covering yourself, or they don't want to agree to you covering yourself, that's not somebody you need to work with anyway, okay? And I have, okay, you know, I've learned all aspects of business, and, you know, I trust you. Let me tell you something. At the end of the day, they don't care about you, okay? They gonna care about that money. If they can take advantage of work, if they can take advantage of, they will. So protect yourself, okay? W fucking video, Meezy. Jobless nigga back at it again with a good video. I like Meezy videos. W video.